the Amazonian, pledge our loyalty. Praise to our Savior who granted us the freedom. Allegiance to the hero who brought the land we gather. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation, flowing with earth and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meet in our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meet in our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation.
My fellow Amazonians, my fellow people, thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for your continuous commitment and steadfastness to our struggle. I am grateful to God to have been born an Amazonian, and I am very proud to be part of this generation that is contributing immensely in altering the destiny of 10 million of our citizens. In the past 7 years, millions of our people have been engaged in the struggle for our freedom. In the past 61 years, millions have also been engaged in the struggle to protect the identity of the Amazonian people and to create an environment within which political system could emerge that will guarantee transparency, protect the rights of our people. We've been struggling to establish the political space also within which an economic system that is designed to provide opportunities for the Amazonian people could take root. For 63 years, our land has been under attack by Cameroon, and it has dismantled our political institutions that are necessary to establish a rule-based order that could guarantee freedom, opportunity for our people. Our economic system has been attacked and taken over, and our resources exploited for the interests of our enemy. Our population have been given two choices: pay allegiance to Cameroon or be starved of opportunities, lose your liberty, go into exile, or even lose your life. Our people sometimes have not had a choice than to succumb, sometimes change their names, their identity, just to have a chance. It has been a brutal existence under Cameroon. From one generation to the other, we seem to gradually fold in, adjust ourselves to oppression, and that the main reason for our existence becomes survival. Every time a generation has risen to challenge the system, thousands have been killed millions displaced. A regime of terror and violence has been put in place, overseen by Cameroonians appointed even as chiefs within Amazonia, DOs, SDOs, governors, who have become agents of terror and impunity in our country. Our entire survival and lives have depended on their generosity. We have never contemplated a long-term resistance that will give an opportunity for those here unborn. We have fought short-term battles for our own opportunities. When they become difficult, we surrender, we succumb, we adjust to the terror, to the nightmare. Our failures have always been excuses. We have never been held accountable by the next generation. We have never been asked by those born after us what we did when our land was taken over by brutes, barbarians, killers who think we owe them child support. None of us has been held accountable for enabling the regime of impunity, the regime of loot that has laid bare at our coast, taking the lives of our people as though they were games. No one has ever been held accountable. And so we've used shortcuts. Those who have exiled themselves through the barbarism of the system have tried as much as possible to take along those left behind, or to use remittances to better the lives of those left behind. Living in exile has taught me one lesson. In every country I have been, whether the United Kingdom, I remember Chamberlain, when he decided to give away part of Czechoslovakia to Hitler to appease him. He was afraid of the bully who lived in Berlin. He knew he could not stop Hitler because he never even dared to contemplate he could try. So he betrayed Czechoslovakia. You cannot satisfy bullies. You face bullies head on. I remember a guy then rose up in England called Winston Churchill. And he said, I'm going to take this bully block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood. He rallied the United Kingdom, rallied millions of people across the globe, including my dad, to fight, to defend values and customs which they were used to. The daring of a few men, the sacrifices of millions, stopped Hitler on his path. Europe and the Western Hemisphere were free from a tyranny that took away the lives of 6 million Jews, 11 million Russians, and countless number of others. Coming to Norway, about 1939, Norway also thought you could succumb and appease Hitler. They declared their neutrality. 1 year later, Hitler invaded Norway. The king of Norway and the government fled to England. From England, they oversaw the resistance. The Norwegian resistance fought Adolf Hitler. Hitler recruited Vidkun Quisling and put him as the figurehead. For 4 years, the Norwegians fought, assisted by the Allies and others. On the 8th of May, 1945, Norway was liberated. Every 8th of May, they celebrate it as Liberation Day. Within a few days, Adolf Hitler had overrun France. The French president had escaped to Gabon. Pétain, the traitor, was put in charge to oversee Hitler's loot. He betrayed his country because of fear. The French resistance, supported by the Allies, fought Adolf Hitler, and the Normandy landing ended Hitler's reign in France. The Russians never gave up. Stalingrad bombed to the ground. They fought. In winter, they fought until Hitler succumbed. I've known bullies like Paul Biya all my life, and the shortcut by so many is to succumb to bullies. After a while, in resistance, people begin to blame themselves because they have never known sacrifice as important in freedom. 10,000 Norwegians were killed when Norway was liberated. 40 traitors were tried and hung, including the Prime Minister serving under Adolf Hitler. Sacrifice is important in the preservation of freedom. And all what we do is to deny Cameroon the opportunity to continuously belittle Ambazonians, exile Ambazonians, burn our villages, torture us. From Foncha to the John Frundis, they give up, they succumb, they integrated. This generation has vowed there will be no white flag. There will be no compromise on the ultimate objective of independence. And the resistance will continue until we are totally free from the coast to the highland. That is the price we will have to pay for the generation yet unborn, for those locked up in jail because of Amazonia, for those displaced as IDPs and refugees. My fellow citizens, to achieve our freedom, I have factored in a lot of issues. My leadership has been inclusive and collective. I know many a time you listen to the noise out and you may think Dr. Ayaba is a unilateralist. He likes to walk alone. He doesn't want to compromise with others. The truth sometimes might take a long time to emerge, but it will emerge. The Amazonian Governing Council, which I lead, has remained intact, not because we haven't had problems. It's because my leadership is a bottom-up leadership. The facts are clear. From the beginning of the struggle, I have never instituted any policy on ground zero, except my declaration of the rights of the Amazonian people to defend themselves. Monday ghost towns was declared by the consortium. School boycott was declared by the consortium. Even the taxis, which I have overseen, was declared by the soldiers in different forms. Ban on taxi color was declared by the soldiers. 99% of all the actions we take in this struggle has been declared by others. I have only come in to use my experience and knowledge to be able to shape those actions, explain those actions, so that they are understood by our people, why they should be respected, and so that they should be understood by the international community. In taxation, I realize we cannot survive simply on donations, the goodwill of our people, or what our soldiers call support. One soldier comes in the morning, collects support. The next one comes to the same person, collects support. You push our people to the wall. That is why I took all of those different forms of taxation that had been put in place on ground zero by our forces, and I defined them in a way that the world can understand us and in a way that our people can understand us. Liberation tax has always existed on ground zero. It has always existed in the diaspora in the form of citizens' levy, in the forms of contributions, in the forms of donations. So my leadership has always been inclusive. I've always embraced what others have put. I have always, once I think they will advance our struggle, I've made sure that they are properly understood and implemented. I know sometimes even those who impose those measures, when it becomes difficult, they think they can back down. That's where I don't back down. When I believe a strategy is effective, a strategy is known to counter the authority of the enemy. Once a strategy is attacked by the enemy, you know it hurts them. And we simply have to stand our grounds. My fellow people, in the past days, I just stepped out from another meeting. I was invited in a meeting. I'm talking about this part because it's about leadership, what I think leadership is. But before I get into that, the way I make decision is based on the structure of the Amazonian Governing Council. It's also based on the structure of the Amazonian Resistance. Before I make an announcement, I consult with all forces. I consult even with stakeholders who don't have forces. I consult with advisors. Decisions that are effective, once they are owned by the people, they are accepted, they are tolerated, and they become very effective. That is my approach. A bottom-up approach in leadership that is collective, consultative, and decisions are made for the general interest of everyone. In that way, we own the failure and we own the successes. That is how every decision I make happens. In the last days, I attended a meeting with Comrade Kwanga and the others. Every year in the past 5 years, schools have resumed in October in Amazonia as a distinction from the September commencement of schools by Cameroon. Every year in the past 5 years. And that tradition is what we continue to respect. And it's my belief that if we need to alter that tradition, we need to make that decision in due time, inform our people about a year, explain it thoroughly so that our people understand. And so I was called up in this meeting by this gentleman. Said, I don't think it's appropriate. A month is too short a period of time to ask our people to come in school in September. Number two, the tradition in the last 5 years has been that schools always resume in October. And so if you need to change it, you need proper consultation. And I did inform them, if you find valid reasons for which schools must resume in September, let us make it happen next year. Let's have this school year continue in October, and then we have proper consultation. And if we emerge with a common decision on a change, we will inform our people. And they insisted on September, and I said, all right, we will disagree to agree. Let's move our separate ways, and I'm going to make the announcement for October. Before I could even sit, they had put out an announcement having my name, and I notified them, this is not the outcome of the meeting. You can go ahead with your announcement without my name. They did not listen. Whoever is calling the shots, Amazonia will know. And I just want to warn Amazonia, the next item on the agenda will be Monday Ghost Towns. I've just listened to a couple of them talking about our people, that the struggle must be for our people. It has always been for our people. The people who have murdered our people is La Republic, who have burned down thousands of villages is La Republic. We don't have a La Republic citizen in our jail. The thousands of people in jail are locked up by La Republic. So those who've murdered our people are not Amazonians. There have been infractions by our people. And to use those little infractions to undermine the systematic violence imposed by Cameroon is not people-oriented approach to a liberation struggle. When I listen to some of them talk about, well, if you impose liberation tax, what if they arrest people? They have never answered. If you lock down shops on Monday, what if the enemy closes the shops on Tuesday? So the hypocrisy which we have seen in this struggle has been the reason why those who think they are for collaboration have dwindled to individuals who are fighting for their own survival. The IG has been dismantled. The proliferation of all of this group has been because they lack good faith. They lack proper understanding of compromise, tolerance, and procedures in the way decisions are made. They get up in the morning and then they want to make a decision. And when they come in a meeting, when there is disagreement, they go out and they start attacking people and screaming. My leadership has established an army on the ground. It is sustained. This year alone, we've spent more than 120 million in armament for our forces. We have powerful brigades across many states. That is a testament of our resilience and our belief in the outcome for which all of us are committed to. For all those who spend their time attacking us, they have never shown Amazonia what they have created. We have created community schools across 3 states. In 2 states, we have thousands of our people going to school. We have created an impeccable curriculum of education for our people. We've signed a contract of over $10,000 with Orion Foundation to give our children and adults skilled education lying in places where they cannot go to school. Our strategy is working, and I ask our people to believe in what I'm doing. I alone, what I as a leader have been able to achieve. You bring all what they have achieved will not be 1/3. And that is what you should use in measuring our commitment and in judging us. Noise does not free a people. Propaganda does not free a people. I will continue in my leadership to consult with Ground Zero on every measured decision that will require the implementation, that will affect the lives of our people. I will make those decisions in a way that will have an impact on the enemy's ability to continue to occupy our land, to exercise authority over our people. Some of those decisions might be seen as minimal, but when properly explained, its effect is seen. Taxi colors, it challenges the authority of the enemy to make decisions in Amazonia. Number plate undermine the ability of the enemy to make decisions in Amazonia. Occupation is not simply about military presence, it's about authority. You lose it, you lose the occupation. Are there consequences in any decision we make? In every decision we make, there are consequences. Even when we don't make decisions for our freedom, there are consequences. Even when Mamia P was sleeping in her house, not going to a demonstration, not carrying a rifle, even when the children in Gabo were just going about their activities, they were all murdered. Those who asked for the reformation of our educational system are all in jail. Those who asked for the legal system to be reformed are either in exile or in jail. You don't need to make decisions to face repercussions with the brutes that have taken over our country. You simply need to be an Amazonian, to think Amazonian and believe in Amazonian, and you will be attacked. It is not the decisions we make. It is about who we are. We are not Cameroonians and we are Amazonians. And we're simply being killed because we are Amazonians. Whether you believe in our struggle for freedom or not, you risk being killed. Whether you fight against it, you risk being killed. And so we must know who the perpetrators are, and we must face them head on without meandering, trying to take shortcuts to blame those who are contributing their utmost for the freedom of our country. My fellow people, my leadership has believed very strongly from the beginning that to be independent, you need to understand the international system. And you need to work extremely very hard to get known, integrated, recognized, and respected by the international community. That is why I've done everything Amazonians across the globe. I've done everything to put our struggle in the halls of power of many countries, including the US Congress, the House of Lords in the United Kingdom, the French Parliament, the German Parliament. This has been an amazing journey for all of us. I continue to make sure that governments are informed about what we are doing. I continue to make sure that there is outreach to these governments. We continue to knock on doors of new emerging organizations. We continue to make sure that we notify governments on what the enemy is doing. We continue to make sure that governments understand the independence of Amazonia is non-negotiable and that there is no exit. There is no possibility of coexistence because of the absence of any model that shows success in that direction. We continue also to work with media houses so that they can explain to their population what is Amazonia, what we fight for, die for, and what we want to present to our people. We continue to interact also with international organizations, dozens of them. If you see a Norwegian Refugee Council report, different organizations are talking about our struggle. It's because of the effort of Amazonians across the globe. And you can be rest assured that we are planting the seed of recognition. We are planting the seed of knowledge. We are planting the seed of investment when we are independent. And so have confidence in the fact that even though you may not hear some of the things we are doing because of diplomatic courtesy, we are doing a lot. A few days ago, I did a big interview with the biggest Norwegian TV channel. And I know that you will watch that interview very soon. It is because of our persistence and it's because of our resilience. We have also used social media to be able to pass information, counteract the propaganda of the enemy. As I have said to you repeatedly, Cameroon has won every battle from 1961 up till today through patience and propaganda. We have established social media outlets to counteract their propaganda, challenge their monopoly in terms of international relations and diplomacy, and to undermine and expose them as bullies, looters, murderers, and people who don't have backbone. So we are present internationally and we continue to be present internationally. Next month, we have been invited by the Basque president for the Basque anniversary, and we will be available there to carry our flag, to talk about Amazonia, to tell people who we are, what we have, and what we plan to do with the resources that we have. A few months ago, the Norwegian Refugee Council talked about the humanitarian disaster caused by the impunity of Cameroon's presence. Millions of our citizens have been affected because of the brutality of Cameroon. Millions have been displaced. Millions have escaped the homeland. They are refugees in Cameroon, refugees in Biafra, in Ghana, all across in Mexico. And the Norwegian Refugee Council has talked about the lack of humanitarian support. We continue to appeal to the international community to continue to support our people in this time of dire straits. Cameroon hasn't got monies to pay its workers. It hasn't got monies for its own hospitals. The last funds in Cameroon's coffers is spent to buy bullets to murder Amazonians. So we are working extremely very hard to make sure that we convince the international community of the need for humanitarian support and for media attention, for diplomatic attention on the struggle, and especially the suffering of our people. We've also appealed to several governments to make sure Amazonians who are residing in these countries are guaranteed at least temporary protection on humanitarian grounds and given the right to work so that they can mobilize resources and support their families who are trapped under the yoke of Cameroon's oppression. From the beginning, I said, because for more than 60 years, Cameroon has not been willing to have conversation on simple issues, as you saw with Partasan, as you saw with the lawyers and others. And they've believed in the deployment of force. It is necessary because the Fonchas, the Munas, and the others failed to establish an Amazonian army and gave Cameroon the opportunity to invade our land without resistance. It was important for Amazonia to establish an army to defend itself and to fight against the brutality and insanity of Cameroon. As I said before, we have about 3,500 well-armed Amazonians in different defense groups across the 13 states. And I'm proud of what our forces are doing. Without training, without foreign support, without constant flow of cash, they have been able to fight for 7 years without blinking. They have buried, they have fallen, and risen up to fight on the same spot where their comrades were killed. It's an amazing feat which we only saw in some wars like the US Revolution. I want to thank our forces for the sacrifices. I want to thank our people for continuously believing in them. It is the Ambazonian forces that have legitimate authority in Ambazonia. The others are Turks, barbarians who burn villages, rape our children, murder our fathers, and cause a lot of trauma. I tell you a small story. Down in the territory, an Amazonian driver was driving through a Cameroon checkpoint. And when they arrived there was total silence. Everybody was mute. Everybody was quiet. Everybody was holding onto their phone, not knowing what the enemy will do. They gave their bribes and they drove off. When they reached the Ambazonian checkpoint, the driver was screaming, "Ajamam, Ajamam." That is how when they arrived where their own forces were, they were able to speak. They were able to communicate because they understand each other. They know, despite the difficulties, these are our brothers, these are our children fighting for our flag, fighting for our country. And so I want you to believe in our forces. And I also ask our forces to make their primary responsibility the protection of our civilian population and to make sure that any acts of extortion, arbitrary arrest, torture are eliminated in their actions. It is very critical that the relationship between our forces and the population is cordial. The population is the first line of defense of our forces. And so our forces must conduct themselves with utmost integrity and respect for our population and follow due process in ensuring that those arrested are questioned and given the chance to respond, and those who are found to be spying for La République du Cameroon, justice will take its course. My fellow people, as I have said repeatedly, Ambazonia is ready for negotiation anytime Cameroon is ready. Dr. Sarkozy and the others were in Geneva during the Swiss intention. We sent a powerful team in Canada during the Canadian talks. And we issued a joint communique following the communication protocol that ended the Canadian talks. Ambazonia has always been ready, including when the African Commission on Human and People's Rights asked Cameroon to enter into discussions with the SCNC. They were ready. Cameroon has never been ready for discussions because it has never recognized our humanity. It has never recognized that we are a people. It has never recognized that we are human beings. They have believed that we are their slaves, and they cannot understand for 1 second how their slaves have just suddenly risen up and are demanding equal rights. So Cameroon and the international community must understand that we will continue to buy weapons and arm our people, but we are ready every time Cameroon is, based on the root cause of the occupation, infringement of international borders, and human rights, systematic in nature violations in Amazonia. My fellow people, as I said from the beginning, on my strategy of decision making, there has always been inclusive. And we have also made sure that the strategies that we adopt are reflective of different constituencies. Take, for example, the liberation tax. We adopted a generic approach in the liberation tax, but we gave forces across the territory the opportunity to implement it in a way that reflects their own particular environment. If Amazonia must avoid post-independence chaos, we must make sure that there is inclusivity in decision making and execution of those decisions. And that's what we have always been. The design of our future countries is important. And my leadership will ensure that the political capital of Amazonia remains Boya, the judicial capital. And this is important. Let me explain this. In Africa, capital cities where all the seats of governments have been located sometimes are the only places that are developed. Ministers, managers, and others can stay there in peace, in security. They can drive their cars in peace, no potholes and stuff. And that has been the way that things have worked. The new Amazonia will see decentralization of the different arms of government. The political capital, the prime minister and the president will remain in Boya. The judicial capital will be heading to the state of Momo. That's where Barrister Gorgin Dinka was born. That is where Professor Carson Anyangwe was born. That is the man in 1984 when La Republique terminated and recalled to its own name. He rose up and declared Ambazonia and gave us this name. So we will move the judicial capital. That will be, for example, the Ministry of Justice. So that and the parliament, will move the parliament to a place like Manu. So if the president needs to address the parliament, he needs to drive from Fako right up to Manfe and address the parliament there. If you've abandoned the roads, you will drive through the potholes. Our economic capital will be located in Meme, be the powerhouse of innovation and entrepreneurship, and to make sure that our people are empowered and free. It is very important that the model of state that we develop, as is proposed in the Amazonian Manifesto, is inclusive, representative, and is not destructible. Transparency and accountability is critical if Amazonia is to succeed. One of the reasons why Cameroon has failed also, and most African countries are collapsing, is because of the absence of transparency. Economic loot and spoliation, lack of accountability with the population. We are also watching our struggle, how lack of accountability and transparency has destroyed many movements. Under my leadership, the funds that are meant for the liberation struggle are invested 101% into the liberation struggle. And everyone has a sense of ownership. Everyone has a sense of ownership both in the processes and in the outcome. And we will make sure that this culture of transparency and accountability, makes its way into an independent Amazonia. Millions of people die every year within the continent because gangsters and cartels have looted treasuries, built mansions across different continents, and wasted our resources in different places. As I said also, priority is the protection of our people. I know there is a lot of noise out there about the struggle being for our people. That is the reason for which we rose, to make sure we liberate the homeland and give a homeland to our people, to make sure we also liberate our people from the yoke of Cameroon's tyranny. And we will continue to put our people center stage. Of course, there are abuses, infractions by different forces. We make sure that we intervene, we institute different measures. For example, putting the Amazonian Code of Justice to make sure that there is due process if somebody is arrested. We also do what they call the speedy intervention. If somebody is arrested, we make sure we notify the soldiers that we are aware and that if the person has not committed any crime, they should be released. We also make sure that extortion is reduced through the liberation tax and that there is accountability within the soldiers. My fellow citizens, for us to succeed, all of these things that I'm talking about are captured in the Amazonian Manifesto of Independence. It is not enough to continuously talk about what you are fighting against. You must be able to present what you are fighting for so that our people will embrace it, they will understand it, and they will sacrifice more to make sure that they can achieve. We're fighting to make sure that in an independent Amazonia, all of these things that I've outlined take root. An educational system that is skill based, that you don't go 15 years in school and you have no skill and you leave, you can only be proud of having a degree in chemistry. And it makes no use in changing your lot, in giving opportunities for your families. It cannot give you a job to support your mom or your dad. And so the Amazonia that we are fighting for is going to be totally different from that of Cameroon. And we are going to be radical in the policies that we are putting in place. For that day to come, we must continue to fight. In the coming months, there will be a series of activities that will happen. From the 9th of September to the 23rd of September, the entire territory of Amazonia will be in lockdown. This lockdown is to undermine and to frustrate any attempt by Cameroon to continue to impose its calendar of education and its curriculum of education that have turned us into liabilities. We must make sure that Amazonia is different, and if independence must mean independence, it means we must fight against some of the policies that Cameroon has put in place. From the 24th to the 30th, we will give an opportunity for our people to begin preparation towards the celebration of our Independence Day. Those who are moving from one place to the other to begin school should have that 1 week to move. On the 1st of October is our Independence Day. And Amazonians across the territory and in the diaspora will be celebrating our Day of Independence. This is very important because it reminds us of our country. It reminds us of the sacrifices that others have made and continue to make. Those in jail, those as IDPs, as refugees. And it also informs the world about Amazonia, our independence, and its importance to all of us. On the 2nd of October is the official commencement of Amazonian school year. This is very important. 2nd of October, official commencement of the Amazonian school year. No school commencement in September. And so I call on our people to make this very important distinction. Now, I know you are going to see a lot of information being floated out there. My people, when the consortium called for the closure of schools, we began immediately to think about what the alternative would be. That's why we established community schools, and we were attacked. That doesn't serve any purpose. We believe very strongly a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. We believe very strongly that those inventors who invented the airplane tried with several prototypes that failed. And today, hundreds of people can sit in a jumbo jet and fly across oceans, and in 6 hours have moved from one continent to the other. It will take a belief in what we are putting in place and the innovation that exists for us to take it to where we want to. I, Dr. Ayaba, have always, as I said from the beginning, believed very strongly that consultation is critical in the effectiveness of programs and decisions. And I want you people to continuously disregard all of those speculations that are made out there. Those speculations that are monumental in nature and designed to alter certain fundamental principles that informs our struggle. You must always wait and hear from me. As I said, I have not made any decision in the struggle. And what we cannot do is to allow individuals to use their emotions time and again to attack decisions that have been very collective and effective. School boycott was not our program. We've implemented it, we've designed an alternative, and it's working. Anyone who wants to talk about Amazonian education must be able to have schools that are under them, curriculum of education that are under them. And if you don't, and if you have good ideas, consult with those who are running these institutions. If you want to make measured decisions on self-defense, you have to make sure that you consult and fail. And that is what we have always done. Across all the states, any decision we want to make on issues of self-defense, we consult with different forces. We are not unilateral, not because we are weak, but because we believe that consultation mitigates the effect of public chaos. And these decisions that we have made have been very successful in self-defense, education, internationalization, and targeted diplomacy. So I want every one of you listening to me today to note that while there are different actors in our struggle, they don't carry the same weight. And you should not allow yourself time and again to be deceived because people have put out press releases, they've put out videos. You must first ask tough questions before you are going to implement any decision that they have made. Anytime a decision comes from my office, you must know it is a decision that has been well thought of. It's a decision that has been made through consultation with individuals. It's a decision that has been thrown publicly for individuals to debate. They may not agree, but we have the power. In terms of the forces we have, we are the only structured movement. We have the platform that collaborates with different Amazonians and different stakeholders. So once more, on the 2nd of October, the Amazonian school year begins. From the 9th of September to the 23rd, our borders will be closed. I have notified the Biafrans. Every Amazonian doing business with Cameroon, with Biafra, or with Nigeria, you must take note. And from the 24th to the 30th will be the continuation of preparation towards the commencement of the new school year and the celebration of our Independence Day. My fellow Amazonians, there comes a time in the life of a people when they take a stand, a final stand against tyranny and oppression and occupation. And this is that time in our history. We have come a long way in the last 7 years, in the last 63 years, and even in the last 132 years. As a people who have been shipped from one colonial authority to the other. And we have had leaders and individuals who have failed woefully to establish the institutions that are the foundation of an independent state. We have had individuals who, in the face of difficulties, they blink, succumb, surrender, and give away our country. Our land has been taken over by brutes who killed 400,000 Bamilikes during the nationalist struggle for the true independence of Cameroon. Cameroon was handed over to neo-colonialist Ayijo, who transferred it to another neo-colonialist. All the nationalists were killed. We have risen up as a people to put an end to this illegal presence, to this illegal tyranny that has cost the lives of millions of our people, displaces millions, undermine our tradition, our culture, and our way of life. We will not surrender. We will not compromise. Cameroon must know, and know it now and clearly. Their survival depends on the freedom of Amazonia. Otherwise, Cameroon will splinter into bits and pieces. And I can assure you, as I have said repeatedly, given the chance and the resources, we will take the western province of Cameroon, we will take the littoral and hold it until reparations are paid to Amazonia. And if we have the resources, we will march and make sure that the government that exists in Cameroon is a democratic government that recognizes Amazonia, treats its own people with love and dignity. God bless you all. God bless Amazonia.
Hail this land of glory, we the Amazonians pledge our loyalty. Praise the our Savior who granted us the freedom. And legends to the hero who called the lonely Diablo. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation flowing with earth and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Amazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Amazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation.
We are not giving up. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up. We need freedom. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up. We are not giving up. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up. We need freedom. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up.
Good morning, all my brothers of Amazonia, all the fighters. A mountain lion. I walk this way to go walk for Central Market, Muliko, Uboyade. The small visit to go harvest I can show my brother for the one Amazonia send this year. The date today now 25 of August 2024. The one day they go walk for up. All mountain lion fighters and they go walk for up. Good morning, all my brothers of Amazonia, all the fighters. A mountain lion. I walk this way to go walk for Central Market, Muliko, Uboyade. The small visit to go harvest I can show my brother for the one Amazonia send this year. The date today now 25 of August 2024. The one day they go walk for up. All mountain lion fighters and they go work for up. Good morning, all my brothers of Ambazonia, all the fighters. A mountain lion. I walk this way, they go walk for Central Market, Muliko, Uboyade. The small visit, they go have some. I can show my brother for the whole Ambazonia send me this year. The date today now, 25 of August 2024. The one day they go walk for up. All mountain lion fighters and they go work for up.
We are not giving up. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up. We need freedom. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up. We are not giving up. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up. We need freedom. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up.
Le destin présidentiel se dessine peu à peu avec sa nomination comme Premier ministre d'Amadou Ahidjo. Il est le successeur
In the history of La République du Cameroon, two men have held the nation hostage at gunpoint, Ahidjo and Paul Biya. This is a story of Paul Biya versus Amazonia. His entire life, Biya has believed he is untouchable, that no one or group of people can dare hold him accountable. He murders, loots treasuries, exiled opponents, jail others and bribe the rest into surrender. He murdered his wife and killed the husband of the current wife. He has murdered Amazonians who rose up. He killed baby Martha, burned Mami Api in a house. He butchered Samsoya and got his head chopped off. He burned thousands of Amazonian homes and villages, drove millions from their homes and turned them into IDPs and refugees. He murdered children in Gabo on Valentine's Day. All those he couldn't kill, he locked them up. Some who escaped were kidnapped from abroad and brought back to Cameroon. This is the story of a lifetime of a cheap murderer and a war criminal who has survived every opposition until the Amazonian people rose up.
Have you heard of Ambazonia?
We now have an army determined against all odds to defend the land. An army which is armed, disciplined, and equipped to stop this war criminal from escaping justice again. And most importantly, a nationalist, no-blinking, uncompromising leader who stands up to bullies, murderers, looters, and cheats.
All what it takes.
If we fail, Cameroon has promised to put every Amazonian in a concentration camp, kill all those in jail, and make everyone else work in CDC plantations as slaves. We, the Amazonian people, have the powers to render our verdict on Biya. We are his nightmare. Stand with Ambazonia.
Then let the IDPs who've been suffering get schools reopened completely and to get our suffering people back into a life of normalcy.
Let's watch this video. Ça fait vraiment mal. Je suis à T-Junction et les salopards là sont garés à T-Junction. Avec les moutons de chanter là, maintenant il faut arrêter de jubiler ça. Ils chantent dans la merde comme ça là, il n'y a pas de partout, rien de dehors. Ils sont en train de jubiler ça, de chanter. Ils sont là à T-Junction. Non, ça vaut pas la peine. Des conneries comme ça.
T-Junction sont en train de jubiler. Pourquoi? Parce qu'on a fait le bilan. Qu'est-ce que nous on trouve à faire? Qu'est-ce que nous on trouve à faire? Hein? On a parlé de ce poste comme j'ai mis, ça fait pas 2 jours. Il a demandé de les laisser, de rester tranquille. C'est normal qu'ils jubilent. C'est leur fête, ils sont en train de fêter. Hein? Ils sont en train de fêter. Ils sont en train de fêter. On a entouré des ambazoniens. Nos chefs sont ambazoniens. Les chefs et les autorités sont ambazoniens. Ils ne travaillent pas le lundi. Tous les bureaux sont fermés le lundi. Ce sont les sécessionnistes. On va supporter ça jusqu'à quand? Parce qu'on reste tranquille qui pensent qu'on a peur d'eux. On mange chez eux. C'est quelle histoire ça? Ils doivent jubiler. Ils sont déjà habitués. Les gens vont brûler le camion. On demande de les laisser les brûler le camion. Hein? Ils ont un incident. Il y a un incident au niveau de City Kemes. À City Kemes, le camion est tombé. C'est un benzikineur. Vos chefs vous demandent de les laisser brûler le camion. C'est quoi? Ils adhèrent à ce qui se passe. On ne fiche le camp. Bande de PD.
Moi non. Moi je m'en fous de n'importe quel chef. Je m'en fous de n'importe qui. Maintenant, où tu me vois là, je m'en fous de n'importe quel chef. Ou de qui. Voilà, Yacoubou qui est d'abord mort, on l'a négligé. Voilà mes 2 frères qui meurent. Moi, je m'en fous de n'importe quel chef. Ils sont là seulement pour prendre les agents des scams et supporter les gens. Les gens sont en train de mourir. Ils ont des familles, on a les familles.
Les responsables de la police du Nord-Ouest. Même ça soit qui, je m'adresse à vous. Vous avez liquidé Yacoubou avec le chauffeur, le civil. Je m'adresse à vous. Tout le monde est capable de laisser la police aujourd'hui à cause de vous. Pourquoi? Parce que vous n'arrivez pas à améliorer les conditions de travail de tous les fonctionnaires de police du Nord-Ouest. Je vous dis ça. Vous me connaissez très bien, le frère de Yacoubou. Vous me connaissez très bien. Je suis passé devant vous plusieurs fois. Je ne passe pas avec le nom de quelqu'un. Mon nom c'est Innocent Claude Ngombu Maboussa. Je suis au GEMI, 2e compagnie. Voilà 2 éléments que nous perdons comme ça à cause de votre négligence une fois de plus. Et je n'ai pas peur d'aller devant vous ou après vous. Je suis en train de vous dire ça. Je suis en train de vous dire ça et je le répète très bien. Trop c'est trop. On ne peut plus supporter à ce niveau.
Ça fait vraiment mal. Je suis à T-Junction et les salopards là sont garés à T-Junction avec les motos en train de chanter là, maintenant en train de jubiler ça. Hein? Dans la merde comme ça là, il n'y a pas de parcours, rien que dehors. Ils sont en train de jubiler ça. Ils chantent même. Ils sont là à T-Junction. Non, ça vaut pas la peine. Des conneries comme ça.
While Ambazonia is celebrating, others had cried. Welcome to ACM. After the attack of Ambazonia Defense Forces yesterday at Commercial Avenue, a French blogger posted, "It is not about the news because it's all over the place and we all are aware of the fact that Ambazonia Defense Forces attacked and brought down forces of the Cameroon armed force. And I want us to take a close look at the comment section." Let us take a close look at the comment section, how they are crying. When we are celebrating victory, the frogs are crying. I took some time to go through the comment section and I noticed that there is serious cry they be compound. Let us go through. Take a look at these comments. The funniest thing is that most of these people think that what CRT will report to them is real. Some of them are shocked that Yaoundé tells them there is no problem. Some of them are surprised that Yaoundé tells them there is no more problem. Some of them are surprised that there is still war in Southern Cameroon. Some of them are still shocked that they are still losing their brothers. Some of them are in tears. They can't believe what their eyes are seeing. Let us look at the comment section. Everywhere they are crying. They have forgotten to know that we have been crying. This is how these people come in, kill our students, our brothers every day, kill our mothers every day. Well, look at the comment section. I know some of our people might not be able to read English, but let us pick some comments like these. Let us pick some comments and translate. Some say Yaoundé is fine. Okay. Some are asking, until when, Lord? Many families are losing children in this war. Their government says there is no war. Let me read another comment. We only eat their brains at training. What are they? Order not to shoot. Let's look at another comment. There's a lot of tears in Cameroon. They are crying. They don't know. You see, some say, rest in peace, valiant soldiers. Some say, see, people's children from flesh to cannons. The tears is much. Read Evani is strict. Let's read this interesting comment. It says, children of the poor, courage to the junior Ngombe who has just passed his police academy entrance exam. Give me the name of a son whose father is a senior executive in this country who is serving in Nozo. That's to say, children of the poor, like the other military man was crying the other day, children of the poor are dying. I am very certain that other military men will say this. Some will leave. Children of the poor are dying. You see tears? Some say, the pays va mal. The country is going bad. Read this very interesting comment which says, yet Yaoundé says every day that the war is over. Well, believe Cameroon at your own risk.
We are not giving up. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up. We need freedom. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up. We are not giving up. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up. We need freedom. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up.
Tu as quitté l'armée, pourquoi? Très bonne question. Je vais répondre à cette question en toute honnêteté. Vous comprenez ce qu'elle dit? Voilà. Plusieurs personnes m'ont déjà posé la question aussi. Pourquoi est-ce que j'ai quitté l'armée camerounaise? Les gars, je vais vous dire quelque chose. Vous savez, dans notre gouvernement là, il y a un groupe de personnes qui manipulent tout le Cameroun entier. Dans tous les domaines. Vous voyez un peu. Ça veut dire quoi? Ils protègent certains jeunes et abandonnent d'autres à leur propre sort. Vous comprenez ce qu'il dit là? Voilà, je vais prendre le cas de la boîte à laquelle j'appartenais, qui est l'armée. Quand tu entres dans l'armée au Cameroun et que tu es un enfant de pauvre, tu sors d'une famille lambda, tu n'appartiens à personne et tout, on te prend, on t'envoie tout le temps en zone de guerre et tout. Chaque fois tu es en zone de guerre. Et les enfants de riches, qu'est-ce qu'ils font? Quand ils entrent dans l'armée, quand ils sortent, on les affecte dans les zones de paix, Douala, Yaoundé, etc. Et ils sont plus avantagés que les enfants de pauvres. Vous voyez un peu? Alors, comment un jeune qui est conscient de sa situation ne peut pas avoir les idées de fuir l'armée, étant donné que nous sommes ancrés pour une même cause, mais nous ne sommes pas traités de la même façon et de la même manière. Vous voyez un peu? Nous ne sommes pas traités de la même façon dans l'armée. Les enfants des pauvres sont traités d'une manière et les enfants des pauvres et des riches sont traités d'une autre manière. Vous voyez? Et en ce qui concerne même aussi les salaires, quand toi, fonctionnaire ou alors contractuel, on peut te donner un salaire de 38 250 francs que tu dois toucher pendant 2 ans. Comment les idées de fuir l'armée ne vont pas te venir en tête? De vous à moi, on peut te donner 30, tu vas faire quoi avec 38 250 francs? Le temps, si nous sommes en 2024, ce n'est pas l'armée de Koulmayos que avec 38 000 tu pouvais manger même pendant un mois chez toi. Nous sommes en 2024, mais le gouvernement camerounais continue à donner 38 250 aux soldats camerounais. Est-ce que c'est normal? Et pour que ton salaire augmente même, il faut que tu rampes dans tout Yaoundé. Comment nous les jeunes là qui rêvons grand, nous n'allons pas fuir l'armée? Je ne suis pas le premier ni le dernier à fuir l'armée. Beaucoup de militaires camerounais fuient l'armée à cause des conditions. Vous voyez un peu? Et je vais aussi parler de la guerre qui sévit au Cameroun du côté anglophone depuis 2017. Notre gouvernement camerounais connaît la source du problème. Ils connaissent tout ce qui se passe dans le nozo, mais ils ne veulent pas trouver une solution. Donc il y a plusieurs problèmes au sein de l'armée camerounaise. Vous voyez un peu. C'est seulement que l'armée est une boîte muette. Vous voyez, est une boîte secrète. C'est la raison pour laquelle les secrets ne peuvent pas sortir de là. Parce que on ne peut pas te dire que tu es ancré dans l'armée et le serment c'est honneur et fidélité. C'est vrai, honneur et fidélité. Nous sommes tous ancrés dans l'armée camerounaise pour défendre notre pays. Vous voyez, mais nous ne sommes pas ancrés dans cette boîte-là pour combattre nos propres frères qui sont les anglophones. Après on va te dire que tu n'as pas respecté le serment honneur et fidélité. Quel serment? Donc c'est une catégorie de personnes qui doivent respecter le serment honneur et fidélité et qui doivent laisser leur vie jusqu'au sacrifice suprême. Tandis que d'autres personnes vivent très bien et tout ce qui va avec, ils sont là, ils n'ont pas de problème. Vraiment, il faudrait que notre gouvernement trouve une solution par rapport à la situation de notre pays. Franchement, cher papa, chère maman, trouver une solution par rapport à la situation de notre pays. Notre pays va très mal. Très mal, je vous assure. Moi, je préfère rester ici dans ces conditions-ci que de retourner au Cameroun. Je vous assure, pourtant je suis Camerounais et je suis fier d'être Camerounais, mais la situation que nous vivons au pays ne nous donne pas l'envie de retourner. Ça ne nous donne pas du tout l'envie de retourner. Comment se fait-il qu'un ancien militaire que je suis, je me retrouve ici à Dubaï, laveur de marmite, laveur de sol, laveur d'assiette, laveur de voiture, ça ne s'explique pas. Voilà, il n'y a pas de fumée sans feu. Vous comprenez? Il n'y a pas de fumée sans feu.
Bonjour peuple camerounais. Je suis un ancien militaire de la garde présidentielle, formé en 2011 à Obala, précisément au centre d'instruction de la garde présidentielle à Minkama. Je n'ai pas duré à la garde présidentielle à cause de ma façon de voir des choses et de dire les vérités aux chefs. J'ai été reversé. Et je suis rentré dans mon corps d'origine, l'armée de l'air, à la base 201 à Douala. Je sais que beaucoup vont parler, je ne peux pas vous donner mon nom, mais allez fouiller mon matricule. Mon matricule c'est ceci, A 2011-14062. Et en 2015, nous sommes partis à la force multinationale mixte à l'extrême nord pour lutter contre la secte islamique Boko Haram. En voilà la tenue que je porte aujourd'hui, ça me fait. Et me voilà derrière, ça c'est l'extrême nord du Cameroun, où nos primes ont été détournées. Nous devons avoir 450 000 chaque fin du mois. Ils ont pris nos comptes à plusieurs reprises, mais aucun franc n'a été déposé. Le gouvernement camerounais me doit 12 millions. Et tous ces militaires qui ont été à la force multinationale, c'est 12 millions. Pourquoi j'interpelle, pourquoi je viens ici aujourd'hui dire les choses? C'est parce que les choses arrivent tellement si vite au Cameroun. L'heure est grave. Steve Agam a été enlevé au Gabon. Je demande au gouvernement camerounais de nous donner, faire signe de vie de M. Akam alias Raymond Kota. Parce que je sais de quoi je parle. Je suis sûr, s'il est vivant, il est en train de subir des tortures. Et j'interpelle aussi les militaires parce que l'homme en tenue au pays, au Cameroun, c'est les gens les plus pauvres. Entre parenthèses, je vais parler là où j'en connais. Dans l'armée. 90% des militaires sont à rouge à la banque. 95% sont crédités partout, ils doivent partout au quartier. Les Sénégalais qui ont les bars, les boutiques, pardon, les mamans qui ont les petits bars au quartier. Alors, camarades, il est temps que nous prenions nos responsabilités. Est-ce que nous allons continuer à vivre la misère et M. Paul Biya doit s'enrichir avec son groupe des voleurs de jour en jour pendant que nous dormons à faim? Il y a des militaires qui n'arrivent même pas à payer leur loyer. Après, on m'a dit, pourquoi les militaires sont dans beaucoup de mauvaises choses au Cameroun? C'est parce qu'ils n'ont rien. Le militaire commence avec 37 000, si je ne me trompe pas, ou c'est 32 500, quelque chose comme ça. Après, il monte x2. Après 2 ans, avec 32 000, il monte à 72 000. Dites-nous un peu, soyons dans un pays sérieux. Avec 72 000, que tu travailles à Douala ou à Yaoundé, tu dois vivre comment? Alors, s'il vous plaît, anciens camarades, prenons nos responsabilités. Comme je le dis, me voici, avoir mon insigne de la garde présidentielle. Et comme je le dis, on avait prêté serment pour défendre les couleurs du pays, pas pour défendre un individu. Pardon, prenons conscience. Il est temps que nous, militaires, nous nous réveillons. Nous tous, nous savons. Je sais qu'au Cameroun, quand un jeune doit parler, vous allez aller l'arrêter. Mais vous arrêtez ces jeunes même avec le mal parce que vous ne vivez pas bien. Je ne peux pas compter le nombre de fois que les anciens camarades me demandent, gars, binôme, ces choses sur moi, ma femme doit bonne tel jour. Est-ce que tu peux me faire ceci? Est-ce que... Voilà. Vous-même, regardez dans quelle misère nous vivons. Alors, s'il vous plaît, 2025 arrive. Chassons Paul Biya avec sa bande de voleurs. Chassons-le avec sa bande de voleurs. Je sais qu'il y a encore des bons militaires, des hommes avec du bonne foi au Cameroun. Parce que j'en ai connu. Il est temps que nous disions non à M. Paul Biya et sa bande. Merci.
We are not giving up. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up. We need freedom. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up. We are not giving up. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up. We need freedom. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up.
Anim na mbay mano kuma boy wa mbay de komori go outside it intermittent with wa elite see the one thing army be the can ambadi for asaw de komori wa see the run boni palace so asaw be dey it intermittent for a year the committee the intermittent for limbe the intermittent for Boya, the intermittent for Yaoundé. So someday I should know. Some boy can give me some paper. I take the paper. Okay, I open them. I don't open them. I keep them. I want to say on Monday I keep them. I say now we get sent on there. Okay, I keep them. So they call me say, "If you give that money, say I say yes." He say now I'm going to say that. He say, "Okay, the money." So I want to say me verify. Me I verify whether I'm by say the Google. So it will send the define way for send soldier them. I mean the public soldier them. Me they come catch them or they kill them. So as I we talk, if we get dead, say around 27th of July, now they will come to be obsession. Then that boy will become sick for Kuwe. When in them na the Bangwe, John Bangwe, he will come with them. So when I'm out for what? So it will go away. So they come. So that day the one is 27, they can't catch me. So they bring me. Say I'll be black leg and I'll be black leg too.
Yes. What you get and for tell people them? What you get and for tell?
So I get for tell any man for Ambazona land. Say even man who are you when a soldier for Ambazona land. Job I said but she don't go talk na talk no go talk say you go take soldier them the public soldier we they can't kill you. So I advise every person in the Ambazona land say we should be very careful in this way. Say deep boy they fight for we so we will not be threatened.
I try to make them know say even if you die today or you are alive.
If I die today or I die alive, I advise any man say me they don't ever do so again. Like what you are doing.
Good morning, all my brothers of Ambazonia, all the fighters. A mountain lion. I walk this way to go walk for Central Market, Muliko, Uboyade. The small visit to go have I take a show about the whole Ambazonia semi this year. The date today now 25 of August 2024. The one day they go walk for up. All mountain lion fighters and they go walk for up. Good morning, all my brothers of Ambazonia, all the fighters. A mountain lion. I walk this way to go walk for Central Market, Muliko, Uboyade. The small visit to go have I take a show about the whole Ambazonia semi this year. The date today now 25 of August 2024. The one day they go walk for up. All mountain lion fighters and they go walk for up.
Let's watch this video.
Ça fait vraiment mal. Je suis à T-Junction et les salopards là sont garés à T-Junction. J'avais les moutons de chanter là, mais ils sont en train de jubiler ça. Dans la négative comme ça, il n'y a pas de parcours, rien de dehors. Ils sont en train de jubiler ça, de chanter. Ils sont là à T-Junction. Non, ça vaut pas la peine. Des conneries comme ça.
T-Junction sont en train de jubiler. Pourquoi? Parce qu'on a fait le bilan. Qu'est-ce que nous on trouve à faire? Qu'est-ce que nous trouve à faire? Hein? On a parlé de ce poste comme j'ai mis, ça fait pas 2 jours. Il a demandé de le laisser, de rester tranquille. C'est normal qu'ils jubilent. C'est leur fête, ils sont en train de fêter. Hein? Ils sont en train de fêter. Ils sont en train de fêter. On a entouré des ambazoniens. Nos chefs sont ambazoniens. Les chefs et les autorités sont ambazoniens. Ils ne travaillent pas le lundi. Tous les bureaux sont fermés le lundi. Ce sont les sécessionnistes. On va supporter ça jusqu'à quand? Parce qu'on reste tranquille qui pense qu'on a peur d'eux. On mange chez eux. C'est quelle histoire ça? Ils doivent jubiler. Ils sont déjà habitués. Les gens veulent brûler le camion. On demande de les laisser brûler le camion. Hein? Ils ont un incident. Il y a un incident au niveau de City Kemes. À City Kemes, le camion est tombé. C'est un benzikineur. Vos chefs vous demandent de les laisser brûler le camion. Pourquoi? Ils adhèrent à ce qui se passe. On ne fiche au camp. Bande de PD.
Many times would they tell you? Moi non. Moi je m'en fous de n'importe quel chef. Je m'en fous de n'importe qui. Maintenant, où tu me vois là, je m'en fous de n'importe quel chef. Ou de qui. Voilà Yakoubou qui est d'abord mort, on l'a négligé. Voilà mes deux frères qui meurent. Moi, je m'en fous de n'importe quel chef. Ils sont là seulement pour prendre les agents des scammers et supporter les gens. Les gens sont en train de mourir. Ils ont des familles, on a les familles.
Les responsables de la police du Nord-Ouest, même ça soit qui, je m'adresse à vous. Vous avez liquidé Yakoubou avec le chauffeur, le civil. Je m'adresse à vous. Tout le monde est capable de laisser la police aujourd'hui à cause de vous. Pourquoi? Parce que vous n'arrivez pas à améliorer les conditions de travail de tous les fonctionnaires de police du Nord-Ouest. Je vous dis ça. Vous me connaissez très bien, le frère de Yakoubou. Vous me connaissez très bien. Je suis passé devant vous plusieurs fois. Je ne passe pas avec le nom de quelqu'un. Mon nom c'est Innocent Claude Ngombu Maboussa. Je suis au GEMI, deuxième compagnie. Voilà deux éléments que nous perdons comme ça à cause de votre négligence une fois de plus. Et je n'ai pas peur d'aller devant vous ou après vous. Je suis encore vous dire ça. Je suis encore vous dire ça et je le répète très bien. Trop c'est trop. On ne peut plus supporter à ce niveau.
Ça fait vraiment mal. Je suis à T-Junction et les salopards là sont garés à T-Junction avec les motos en train de chanter là, maintenant en train de jubiler ça. Hein? Dans la merde comme ça là, il n'y a pas de parcours, rien que dehors. Ils sont en train de jubiler ça. Ils chantent même. Ils sont là à T-Junction. Non, ça vaut pas la peine. Des conneries comme ça.
We are not giving up. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up. We need freedom. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up. We are not giving up. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up. We need freedom. We are not giving up. Amazonians, we are not giving up.
ancient drum with its ring, the voice of a forefathers sing. Amazonia run, a day of freedom has come for me and for you, for Amazonia. Yes, we will fight for the right to be free, and we will build our own society, and we will sing, we will sing, we will sing our own song. Yes, yes, we will fight for the right to be free, and we will build our own society, and we will sing, we will sing, we will sing our own song. Oh yeah, we'll fight for the right to be free, and we will build our own society, and we will sing, we will sing, we will sing our own song. Amazonia, happy with you. 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 Amazonia, happy with you.
You can see that.
party to drop it. Yeah. That one will go.
We are right in the palace. We have raised the flag up. As the flag is going up, means that we have accepted to be one Ambazonian. I'm Ayaba somewhere reporting from Baba Kitungo. Watch and see what is happening in the palace. You see the population, we have about 10,000 people here holding the flag. This is our flag. It shall remain here until the day that we have our independence. The day is not far from now. We know 1st October will be the same thing.
This is the phone of Daisy. He's there live. The phone of Daisy is live at the King Palace. Told that is the oldest. He's the oldest in Norway's Amber's land. Amber land. The phone of Daisy.
Bello subdivision stand for at the moment now as the reports are going. So in the name of Jesus.
Tout le monde est descendu. Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome to a